final tier 4 tank that I have used is the Lux, and I have, I don't know, hit or miss relationship with this tank, but I think it mostly is impacted by the fact that all I ever faced in this tank has been tanks significantly higher tier than me. Sixes, I think I want to say I had some sevens. I've had roughly about maybe 9 or 10 games in it, and I just found it totally unfair fighting against these tanks. This is literally one of the type of tanks that just spots. That's all it does. You hide in a bush, you spot. That's it. Or you can drive around trying to avoid targets, but this thing isn't as fast as the Panzer 1C. This thing is, it's got good speed to it, but you're not going to have the mobility as the 1C did. The gun selections on this thing are ridiculous. How many guns does one tank really freaking need, guys? Come on. I mean, it starts at tier 1 for crying out loud. Tier 1. And it's not just one tier 1 gun, it's 2 tier 1 guns. Really? Do they really need to have that many tier 1 guns on this thing? Why are there even tier 1s? Tier 3, I could kind of understand since it's tier 4. You could have a lesser gun, you know. It's understandable. But then it goes from 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tier 5 gun is what you really want in this tank, because the tanks you're going to be possibly fighting against, you have to have a chance against. But the bad news about this is that the damage it does at, well, I have to go back to that. The damage of 30-30 is 30-30-40 anyway, is okay. I mean, for what it is, it's alright. The penetration is where it's at, though. At 95, I mean, you're punching right through a Matilda with ease. You load up some APCR, 110, nothing's going to bother you. Even a Tiger you can punch through. Tiger P, on the other hand, certain parts on that tank is just automatic bounce. Anyway, like I said, most of the matches I had in this, the 9 or 10 that I played, I got discouraged because I really couldn't stand sitting in a bush or driving around to get to a bush to spot high-tier tanks, and just sitting there hoping and praying that my team decides, oh, hey, this is a teamwork-themed game. How about we shoot the targets that he highlights so he too can have a good game and not just us. Now, at the same time, you have to take into consideration that this thing is a lot faster than other tanks, and if you zip your way all the way to a bush halfway across the map, chances are you spotting those guys, if there's 7 tanks over there and you spot all 7, that's great. Maybe artillery can take a shot at one of them or something, but chances are by the time your backup shows up, you're already going to be spotted and you're going to be dead. And that's what I'm trying. The point I'm trying to bring here. If you overextend yourself, it's the issue. A lot of people have this issue in the Hellcat and the T-67 tank destroyers, where they just zip straight ahead, and all because they can drive around. Sometimes these guys act like scout tanks, and I would imagine it's okay to a degree, but you're forgetting the key thing of those things are they're tank destroyers. You're supposed to hide in a bush, take a shot, run the hell away if you have the chance to. If you think you're being spotted, run. You have the speed, you have the maneuverability, you can do it. Anyway, I found the tank frustrating to play simply because I was always being massively out-tiered. Playing a medium tank or a heavy tank, or maybe even tank destroyer, it gets frustrating, and frustrating very fast. You're sitting there and you're like praying that your teammates take a shot at what you just lit up, you know? You just spotted this guy, you hope he's going to come over and get shot by one of your teammates who are going to help you, but a lot of times it doesn't happen. And that's sad, and I honestly feel that light tanks should have a constant bonus, 2 points of what they highlight. You highlight something, when I say highlight, or not identify, but if you spot someone, you should automatically get a base set amount of points. I don't know, maybe 50 for each target you find. Maybe 50 is too high. How about 10? That's 70 points right there. You just highlighted 7 tanks, 70 points. There you go. There's no problem here. I mean, you spotted them. There you go. No problem. That way, grinding these light tanks out aren't so much of a pain in the ass as much as they are now. Right now, you have to be on your game. And then some. You gotta know when to run, when to hide, know if your camo is going to be working. 6th sense on this thing, on these light tanks, are absolutely crucial. But the problem here is if you're not going to put money in 100% crew trained off the bat, you still have twice the amount of work to do just to get at 100% commander with 6th sense. It's insanity. And light tanks right now are, I feel, broken. They're underappreciated. A lot of people that use them are not really having, I would imagine not having great games because, I don't know, like I said, I'm not a pro player at this or a Unicron, and I'm not making believe that I am. I'm saying how I am experiencing the game from a casual player and even to a noob standpoint, versus someone who sits there like Quickie Baby or Jingles or anyone else that does these tank reviews that are extremely competent players. Your vision at this point of the game is jaded. You love the game. You are obviously making videos about the game. You love the game. People that love the game, well, obviously are going to have a one-sided point of view. See, I have a very much love-hate situation with World of Tanks. I love it when the game actually works right and not with just me winning the match, but actually participating in the match, not being stampeded into the ground, not being able to completely steamroll the enemy and unable to help because our teammates are so advanced in playing the game, they just breeze through like it was damn nothing. I mean, come on. No one wants to do this. No one wants to sit here and be on the side of being stomped into a mud hole or doing the stomping that bad. I mean, Jingles has always recently has been talking about the 15-0 defeats in record time. Jesus, he should pay attention to some of the matches that are happening in the U.S. Almost every match I'm in, it's almost or damn well close. Anywhere between 15 to 10 to maybe 2 losses to the enemy. That's it. And the matches, Jesus, are fast. I mean, literally, it's like in, out, dead. The other day, I did a video on the Death Toaster, and I literally drove from base on steps right to the first bush, and it was killed. Within 30 seconds of playing the game. 30 seconds. What's the point? Why? I just lost money just driving the tank to this. It took longer for me to load into the game than to actually play the game. And technically, I didn't even play the game. I drove from the base to the bush and got killed. I literally could have thrown a stone from the spot near that bush to our base camp. It's something like that. It's just, it's ridiculous. And perhaps maybe view range should be coming into question on certain tanks. I'm pretty sure the AMX ELC BIS, I think it's a tier 5 super light tank. I mean, if you ever saw one of these things, they are small, fast, no armor, but the chances of someone hitting you at the speed you're going is insanity. But if you actually hit them with a good solid hit, they are most likely dead. But I am sure the view range on this tank is phenomenal. Because I'm damn sure the AMX over there picked me up almost instantly on the enemy team. And I think it's bogus bullshit. I mean, you're 30 seconds into the game, and all you did was drive from your base to a bush in front of your base, and you're dead. Why the hell bother playing if people have full map view range of this? And if the crew is trained that good that you're seeing this? I'm thinking maybe you might have to tone it down a little on some of the view ranges on some of these light tanks, because goddamn, that's a bit ridiculous. You know, this also goes into my rendering range issue that I have with the game, and of a tank that's driving down a relatively flat open field that's not going to be spotted because no one sees it. Is kind of a stupid way of doing things. I mean, if you have a mouse and it is driving in the middle of a field and you're on one side camping behind the bush and you don't pick it up because your rendering range or view range doesn't pick it up, let's analyze what's wrong with this. First off, how heavy is the mouse? How many tons? 120 maybe, or something along that range? This is not a small tank. Everyone's got this impression that tanks are small because of this game. Tanks are freaking huge. The first time I saw my real life Sherman, I was like, holy shit, this thing is big. And then I started thinking, if this is big, what the hell does a Tiger tank look like? Because a Tiger tank was bigger than that. And then if you can go from that size, the Sherman, to the Tiger, to a Tiger 2, to a freaking mouse, which obviously did not exist, only in paper form and some wooden mock-ups, that is. These things are monstrous. The tank would be monstrous. If it was driving in a field and you're sitting in a bush and you don't see this driving towards you, that's fucking dumb. It's harsh to say, but it's dumb. Something that big you're not seeing? Tanks, of course, and tank destroyers would hide behind bushes. It's a common thing. I could understand that, but shit, you're in an open field and you're seeing IS-3s and IS-7s and Pattons and mouses, whatever it is, driving there, and you don't see them because your view range doesn't see it. Look, I understand view range on a tank is kind of restrictive, but at the same time, how restrictive is it if you're pointed straight at a target? You got your vision port right in front of you. I'm pretty damn sure you could see something that size driving in a field. Furthermore, to make my point even more, is I could sit 7 blocks away in a straight street and I could tell you if there's a car or a truck coming. Yeah, in some maps, probably most notable is going to be the Paris one, is straight up 2 blocks away, you're not going to pick up a tank. Which is bullshit, because if you zoom in with your optics, you can see the masonry of the building 3 blocks down behind the said tank that is invisible. Again, rendering range, and it's a bit of a rant, I know, but I think obvious things should be taken care of. I mean, if you're hiding behind a tree or something, and you're in a small enough vehicle, yeah, I understand that. But you're driving a mouse in the middle of a field and you don't pick it up is bullshit. It is. And once again, it's limitations to the hardware. Anyway, I went on long enough about rendering ranges and view ranges. Back to the looks here before my time completely runs out. Would I suggest the tank? If you like light tanks, go for it. If you're working up the line and you're if you're trying to get to the next tank, just deal with it as best as you can, is all I can say. Personally, I don't see myself wanting to buy this tank again. There's just not enough there to say I'm excited. And that's what this is about, if you're going to have fun and if you're excited playing the tank. Alright, next video is going to be covering Tier 5. Till then, have fun while you're playing.